Hello and welcome. Happy holidays, everyone. This is the Northfield Select Board meeting of December 23rd, 2025. And we're calling this meeting to order at, where's my?
6:01.
6:01, thank you. We're going to start, so Trinity Solar, I'm going to just hold you off for like 5 minutes so we can get Tyson Newkirch from the Mount Grace Land Conservation Trust. You want to come up? Yeah. Great. And I'm just going to mention Sarah Kearns is here and she's on Zoom, in addition to the rest of us. Hi.
Hi.
And welcome.
Thanks.
Do you want to just give us an overview of what's going on so
Sure.
folks at home know what
Yeah.
we're going to be doing?
Of course. So I'm here to seek approval for two conservation restrictions on 4 Mile Brook Road. They've both been recommended by the Conservation Commission as of their meeting last month. I have maps and copies of the actual conservation restrictions if you'd like to look at them. They are each, they're owned by the same deed holders, but we're doing two conservation restrictions because the eastern parcel has one additional deed holder, so the differences in ownership just made it more logical to do two separate CRs. The terms of the CRs are essentially the same. They are primarily focused on protecting the conservation values of critical habitat. This is the other copy, or the other CR.
Thank you.
Critical habitat. It's a really high levels of ecosystem resilience and climate resilience, and all of it, both parcels are completely part of a biomap a core habitat, and much of the parcels score highly on the biomap critical natural landscape. The structure of the CR is primarily to preserve the forested areas with as little human disturbance as possible. There are two residential areas, one on each parcel. The western parcel, which is owned by Liz McLaughlin and Warren Andrus, the residential area surrounds the driveway and the access to their home and their home. The residential area on the eastern parcel is access to a cabin, a seasonal cabin that is sometimes used by Warren's mother, Gail Nee, formerly Gail Andrus. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about the structure of the conservation restrictions or the land itself.
No, I'm familiar with the property owners and we're appreciative of Mount Grace as well. We know you guys do a lot of good work. Does anyone on the board have any questions?
I do not.
I don't either.
There's no liens or anything on this property, the taxes all up to date and everything, as far as we know.
Yeah, they won't.
And the title's clear, and the MLC is coming.
That's
Title's
what I
clear, and
meant.
MLC, everything's in order. Yep.
Yeah, they have
The-
to do a municipal lien certificate or.
Yeah, MLCs are back. I just talked to the attorney this morning.
Yep.
That's all I wanted to know.
Great. Yeah.
Good.
Always.
I figured it was done
Yeah.
the due
Clean in house.
process.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we did things right.
Of course.
Bernie always double checks us, which is good.
You always have to have somebody to do that. Right?
Yes.
All right. So I will give you then. Let me just make sure I have the correct copy.
Down in here.
Yeah, you can, well, that's fine.
So if you guys.
These are
She has them there
photocopies.
too.
Yeah. Are those the original versus this is the,
Copy.
that looks like a copy?
Correct. Yeah. This will be a yes.
Okay. So we need a motion to this effect to approve the conservation restrictions? Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the conservation restrictions as laid out on 4 Mile Brook Road.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
She got it. Who got the second? David?
David,
Okay. Oh, all those in favor. Sorry, thank you.
And Campbell says yes.
aye. Aye. Okay,
I'm just laughing because your voice is so low over here. I'm used to Sarah's voice being here and it's up there.
I didn't put any of the dates and stuff in.
Okay.
I can sign it when I get back. But while you guys are signing it, I just wanted to say, thank you to the landowners. It's so important. We've been seeing a lot of families and landowners putting land in conservation and really thinking of the future. And I just want to applaud them. It's really super important.
Well, Sarah's also does double duty on the Conservation Commission as well. So
This is for the eastern parcel.
here's this one.
Thank you so much.
Well, look at this, you sign it.
Yeah, you got
We've
it.
got both parcels.
We voted to do both of them, so.
I'm signing it.
Not in pencil.
Crayon.
Sharpie.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me with the Sharpies. They just bleed through, that's the only problem.
And I'll defer to you because I have not done a notarization of a select board before. So does everyone individual need to sign the notary book? I don't think so because but
Chair can
chair.
do the chair,
Okay, great.
because she's the representative.
No, they just need to, they don't need to sign. Oh yeah, yeah.
Hold on. There is a error on my name.
Oh, let's see.
Oh dear.
Campbell is Campbell. Oh, Campbell, like the soup. Do we have,
Look in here.
we can just note it.
Write it.
I can just.
Write it
I'll
and then
put
just
it.
initial it.
Just.
Yeah. Print it and initial
Okay,
it,
Print it and
I
initial
changed
it.
it and initialed
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
because you're doing it in front of the notary anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But just to let the notary know.
Here's the other one.
You are Campbell with a
Campbell,
Campbell.
the
You
soup,
sign it.
it's always
So sign
over.
the book.
Please note for the record.
Bernie, you can be the witness.
Yeah.
I'm just attached, so. Okay.
Do you need back those things that you passed there?
I do not need back those ones. You guys can keep them if you want. I'm happy to take them back as well. It's up to you.
I can put them in the file.
Okay.
Yeah,
get
let's
that
put 'em
and
in
get
the file.
The duplicate of that.
Yeah, they send those later.
And we'll send the copy once
Okay.
it's recorded.
Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna need that later. Just need that.
You did part,
That's a different.
a different thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just put this aside so I can take it to the file. You'll still need to sign that other.
So we don't have to sign it because we signed his.
They send us, they'll forward us back a
Okay.
executed copy. Oops.
Okay. Is that it?
You have to have the witness sign, right?
We don't have to, but we'll do it anyways.
Belts and suspenders?
Yeah, sometimes it can still fall
Do you want
down.
my
Yeah.
full name?
Yes, they do.
printed?
That is a true statement.
Do you have to do thumbprints? Do that in California.
And I really appreciate you letting us skip the line. Thanks to all of you for.
Yeah, no, thanks for getting it in, and thanks again to Warren and Lisa.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks, guys. Okay, next up is Mike Smith, Trinity Solar request to extend peddler license.
Welcome
Mike,
back
come on
again,
up,
sir.
Mike. We've seen your happy face before. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Tell us what you want to do this time.
So I would like to extend it for just 3 months, just because I still have people that I'm working with, and I'm gonna be working down in Greenfield as well. I just kind of want to keep the door open to when I am out here, I can try and check in on some folks I haven't talked to, or folks who told me it'd be better to have that conversation in a month or two.
Okay,
And how long are you extending it
Questions,
to? I'm sorry, I just.
go ahead, questions.
See what's on the form?
It was 3 months.
End of March.
Was
Yep.
it this one?
You guys can determine, I think.
Yeah, it was in our packet too.
Okay.
Yep.
Guys are gonna deal with it.
Questions while Dan's looking?
Any complaints or anything, or everything's good? That's it?
I checked with the chief, he has none, so
Yeah, okay.
we're good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's all.
Good to hear, that's what we,
Yeah,
Yep. Great
you're
to
not,
hear,
you're not
guys.
harassing people then?
Not enough to make them complain.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. No.
yeah, that's all right,
okay,
Just below the threshold.
yeah.
That's where you wanna be.
right under the radar, so to
Yep.
speak. Okay, do you want to do a motion then? Any other questions? Sarah, do you have any questions? Okay,
Thanks.
Okay, I motion that we extend the hawker and peddler license for Trinity Solar.
Mike Smith?
Today is 12/23/25. We're gonna extend this 3 months to 3/23/25.
Sounds good.
So moved.
2026.
Oh,
2026.
that's right,
Okay,
we're
26.
new year.
Yeah,
So, so moved, second.
okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sarah?
Aye.
Okay.
Perfect. Cool.
Should we be doing roll call votes, Sandra? No?
If we're on the telly, maybe not.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Thanks
clear
again,
that
guys.
up. Thank you.
You
Good
bet.
luck with everything.
Thank you.
Okay. And we're just passing around the paperwork.
Yep.
Yep. Let me just sign that real quick. Okay. Dan
I haven't signed it.
Campbell.
Spelt it right.
It's spelled right. I double checked.
That's it, I did
Okay.
too.
Gonna be looking forever now. Okay. Joe Gravelin, come on up. It's been a 13-year. Exactly. I'm familiar with it. I don't think the rest of the board is, so.
This is a
I am somewhat familiar.
Oh, good. Oh, that's right, because of Sandy.
research document on the Battle of the Great Falls. Peskiumska was a tinnywog. We
Joe,
came
do you-
together an advisory board about 13 years ago.
Yeah. Would you just, let's state your name, and you're involved with the Historical Commission,
I
obviously, for
represent the Northfield Historical Commission,
And-
dedicatedly for the last 13 years,
Yeah.
at this Battlefield Advisory Board
Do you want to say
gathering.
a little?
We met the first Wednesday of every month for 13 years.
Yeah. Do you want to
it's-
say a little bit about the composition of the
Yeah,
board? Because it's unusual. And,
It's a very unusual, we got multiple grants from the National Park Service to do this. I want to acknowledge Kevin McBride, David Newmack, William Keegan, and David George from Heritage Consultants. They're our technical advisors for the field research. The unique thing about this is that it wasn't a history project written by Europeans. It was a history project written in collaboration with a number of indigenous tribes in order to bring the other side of the story. Now, Northfield's been a very big part of the King Philip's War and the event that occurred at Peskiumska on May 19th, 1676, which this research is about. And that is relevant to the fact that at the council fires, the tribal sachems, some of whom were women and some who were men, came together to try to find the best choice of what to do with the conflict relevant to their people and the amount of suffering that they had gone through the winter of 1675. And they voted to sue for peace. So in other words, they were communicating with Boston via the Crown and with Connecticut, rather, via the Crown, and then Boston via the Massachusetts Bay Colony Corporation, which, by the way, is the first corporation to ever have its corporation papers in the United States. It is still in existence. So I'm just going to read 2 quick pages, and this particular issue is going to be given to the library in Northfield. Misha can take possession of it. In so much as it's an incredibly unique document, it needs to stay in the library, but it'll be fully accessible to all researchers and the public. And on the next Historical Commission meeting, I will be bringing in the Northfield Historical Commission's copy of this document, and I'll be giving an in-depth talk about what this was all about.
Did you want to have, how many of those do you have? Do you want us to put it in the vault at the town hall too, or no?
Well, do you want to deliver it to Misha and she can take
Yeah,
possession
so
of
Misha's
it?
coming at 7:30 because she's working tonight.
Yeah.
So we can give it to Misha and find I'm assuming the history room at the library.
That's where I think it should go,
Yeah.
but she probably,
But-
and I want to set something up with her to do a presentation probably early next year.
Oh, good.
Spring, and bring in some tribal people and we'll talk about the
Good.
whole thing. Let me just read these 2 pages and
Okay.
then you folks can get rolling with your agenda. There were many organizations and people that contributed to the ultimate success of the Battle of the Great Falls with the Tinniwag Peskiumscut project. This project has greatly benefited from thousands of hours of volunteers' efforts. The Battlefield Advisory Board has been composed of historical commissions from the town of Montague, Greenfield, Gill, Deerfield, and Northfield, as well as representatives from the Chowabunagungumuk Band of Nipmuc Indians, the El-Nuwabenaki tribe of Vermont, the Narragansett Indian tribe, the Aquinnah Wampanoag tribe of Gehet-Aquinnah, the Stockbridge Munsee tribe, the Mohegan Indians. This advisory board has been a rare vessel for civic cultural participation, a coming together of people to share different perspectives, to pursue greater truth and understanding, to work out history in present-day relationships. In addition to meeting once a month for the past 13 years, the advisory board members were joined by dozens of interested citizens and local historians who greatly contributed to the success of this endeavor. David Brule, as volunteer coordinator of the advisory board, diligently wrote and posted monthly agendas beginning in 2013, in addition to providing a record of this project. And that will be a document unto itself, by the way, the minutes for 13 years worth of meetings.
And just so, I just looked, Joe, and they're all on the Montague town website too.
They should be.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But David's got the hard copies, which he'll make into a
Yep.
book, yeah. Keep the record through the maintenance of monthly board meetings, communications with local press, doing radio, television, and interviews. Thanks to the many board members and community members who made this legacy of tribal and non-tribal effort possible. David Talpine White, who has since passed, much too young an age, he passed. Liz Coldwin Santana Kaiser of the Nipmuc tribe. Rich Holshoe of the Abenaki tribe of Vermont, Roger Longtoe Sheehan, chief of that tribe. Doug Harris from the Narragansett tribe. Bettina Washington from the Wampanoag tribe, Gehet-Aquinnah. Peter Miller, Greenfield Historical Commission, who has since passed. Patricia Pruitt, who has since passed, and John Nove, who has since passed. So we've lost a lot of members of our board during that 13-year run. Paul Robinson, Frank Abendazio, who I have to say is the main inspiration for the coming together of tribal and European people to do a new look at history. Frank has passed, and we all miss him terrifically. Walter Ramsey, who did just a stellar job of hanging in there and running so many challenges and figuring out so many things that we needed to accomplish to have these meetings each month. Matt Ashby, Kate Albridge, Carrie and Michael Klein, who have done an audio documentation of this project.
Yeah, they worked on the 350th here in
That's
Northfield,
right.
too.
Bonnie Hartley, Gary Sanderson is a historian from Greenfield. This project would not have been nearly as successful without the assistance of our full-time detectivists, George Pessia and Mike Heron, whose expertise developed over a decade of conflict archaeology projects remains invaluable. Mark Andrews from the Wampanoag tribe and currently working for the Narragansett has also been a big part of this project. I could go on and on. It is just an absolute success story in the making, and this is probably the most comprehensive study of that particular morning and that particular ensuing battle that went from what we call Turner's Falls, the Great Falls, all the way to Deerfield. It was a running battle, and we learned a great deal about indigenous battle tactics. Thousands and thousands of musket balls were recovered. Some of those musket balls had teeth marked in them. which means it's an old way of dealing with pain when you get hit with something. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to have been part of this, and I think so much of the Northfield participation in this has really produced a significant document. I'd like to put it out there that that the Beers Plain Massacre is something, and the attack from September 2nd, 1676 at the fort is something, a very scaled down version of this that could happen. And these people are all assembled and ready to roll with this. Is this something that the board might be willing to host some point in the near future? And we can talk about that at another time, but
Yeah.
thank you for your time on this tonight. And
Is that published, or do you just have limited copies? Did
this
you have
is
a
the
publisher?
published, yes, this is the physical
So you're gonna be in,
document.
excellent.
And there'll be one for the historical, another version of that, and
Yeah.
on the next meeting, I'll give a real in-depth rundown and answer questions about
And we'll,
the process.
normally we don't have a lot of people who go to our historical commission meetings, but I think this one will be of interest to a
I'm
lot
hoping
of
it'll
folks.
bring some folks in. It's-
Yeah, especially if, if we, then you do a program at the library as well.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you, Joe, because I think I've been on the historical commission for 7 years now. And you and I have worked on 2 major long-term projects.
Yes.
One is First Light Fork, and the other one, I've only witnessed your involvement with this, which has been substantial. And
Well,
you've
it's-
and you've represented Northfield well, because you included that whole historical connection with Northfield into this. And you got the historical commission thinking beyond just the boundaries of Northfield, and thinking beyond some of those signs that we see on 63,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Indian Council fires near Alderbrook. Those were real, and they tie in with this.
Yeah, Northfield
Right.
is a big player in early English indigenous relations, the furthest northern outpost of the English Empire on the Connecticut River, and it was a tough go for Northfield. So,
Yeah.
anyway, thank you.
But well,
Joe, I wanna
thank
thank
you.
you, that's very
Yeah.
nice.
You're all welcome.
No,
Thank you,
thank
Joe.
you.
Yeah.
And then when Misha comes, we'll pass that one over.
Yeah, thank you
And
much.
then you and I will
Have her
see.
call me, and we'll
Yep.
work something up. Thank
Yep.
you.
I'll make sure that happens.
Yep.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Good to see you. Happy holidays, especially to the grandkids. Okay, well, that was nice. Let's see, 6:30, we're almost there, Skip. I guess we can start, shall we do let's do the warrants though and get those out of the way. And then we'll bring Skip up.
We could do the minutes too, man.
Yeah, let's try and get those out of the way.
I'll motion
thank
to
you.
approve the payroll warrant on 12/24/25 of $98,568.25.
Motion and
So moved.
he motioned. You seconding?
Yeah, I guess. I didn't hear it. My ears are
A little
plugged.
blocked up there.
Just want to let you know.
You got a voice for radio, Dan.
I was waiting for Sarah to do that.
Oh, God, we're off to a good start. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sarah?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Double aye.
I motion that we approve the 12/24/25 vendor warrant of $242,920.36. That includes legal, highway, road supplies, recycling, sewer.
Okay, motion and a,
Second.
thank you. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm
Sarah?
gonna abstain because I didn't have a chance to look at them.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
that's right.
That's right.
Okie dokie. And,
Motion to approve the minutes of 12/9/2025.
motion and a,
Second.
Second.
ooh, Dan gotcha.
I beat you on that one, unfortunately.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Full house on that. Okay. Skip to now. The third.
I was just gonna be an observer, but
I know, it's so much
First.
fun. Come on up.
not a problem.
You have to make a
You can
speech.
observe, you can tell us what
Okay.
you want to do.
You can come anytime, don't you?
I know that. I know that.
All right, and we have Russ Anderson joining us on Zoom.
Zoom. Okay.
Oh, I see.
And
Here he is.
Okay.
hello. All right. So this is, as we were, Skip, Russ, Andrea, and I met last week just to kind of review where we were at, and we included a few documents for you. And we're going to have Russ and Skip walk us through where they're at. This isn't the final report. This is an update. So kind of get everyone up to speed, and then you guys are going to be meeting with the fire department. January's a big month for the fire department, so we'll be looking at possibly having fire on the agenda a couple more times, depending on the number of different things that we need to do. I also realize we need to do the reappointments at the end of January too, so there's going to be a couple of, I'm thinking both January meetings will have, will be starring you, Skip, so. Okay,
And Chair, can you have the secretary send me a copy of this, because I don't have it in the meeting prep? The fire stuff?
This stuff here.
it was a separate email
Okay, I'll check it, thank you.
from, Andrea sent it out.
Went to everybody though.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just came in the day, I think later that day or the next day.
okay, so,
Double check.
Russ, do you want to get us started, introduce yourself? So I don't think,
Sure. Name's Russ Anderson. I've been hired from a few folks to consult on the transition plan for the fire department, review the fire department, strengths, weaknesses, things like that. When we're getting very close to giving that presentation to you guys. So we've met a couple times with Skip and I back and forth. And what, I don't, do they have the document that we put forward?
yes, they
Okay.
have documents that,
The 1216.
1216 from you, my transition notes, and then the document that Andrea put together, that's a grid or a chart based on what Skip and you and Andrea and I, when we were looking at the notes of trying to put together a task list with a timeline. So that'll be useful to the fire department as well as the select board. Because some decisions will fall to the select board, and obviously there's a lot of information that needs to be discussed with the fire department.
Right. So again, this is a very high level kind of view of the big topics. So you did, one of the things that I want to make sure of is the legality of who's responsible and whatnot. So you folks, from my understanding, appointed the acting chief back in August, which is fine. However, it seems as though that he did not receive the delegation of authority from the state fire marshal. So that's one technicality that's easily solved. We talked about it. It's just a letter to him stating that you, as a board, have appointed him as acting chief. And he takes, then that position takes the, what we call delegation of authority, and translates that to all the fire laws, inspections, codes, anything that should come up. That in turn that delegation of authority from the acting chief can then be given to whomever he feels appropriate to conduct inspections for home inspections for smoke detectors, oil burners, things like that, which I believe the chief is Skip is doing currently, and that's fine. We just want to make sure that that technicality of the delegation of authority has been given to everybody. When we go down through our list, again, it's in my opinion that the acting chief should be helping to develop budgets, and I believe that is, and by any means, Skip, chime in here if you need to. I believe that is in the process. Skip has been going over the budget process with him for next year. And then the acting chief is responsible for all fire operations. That's a legal issue that, as he's what we call command of the fire scene, any decisions he makes on what happens at that fire scene, he holds the legal responsibility. Should there need investigations? Should somebody get hurt? Should there you know, God forbid be any fatalities or things like that, it all lies back to that acting chief, just as if he were the chief. Um, so then we talk about the membership beginning to transition from the bylaw based to municipal based operation. So I believe as a board, you've over the years talked about how the department has bylaws they've been going by, and it's kind of a limbo land as to who the authority is. Typically, you'll see Mass General laws, either what they call strong chief or weak chief positions, and that needs to be decided. I am going to meet with the fire folks in the near term to kind of go over the pros and cons. I'll provide those when I give my report to you in person as well, because there's strengths and weaknesses in both. And the fire service will see differently than how you see it. And it's going to take negotiations between the two of you to kind of march towards what's better for the town. You've kind of been acting as a weak chief right now because you're the appointing authority. However, as we all know, Skip, and I say this with the greatest respect, Skip runs as a strong chief. He runs the show. So um, we need to kind of flush that out. I'm not hearing you. I'm sorry. Am I talking? There you go.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you now, B. Yep.
Oh, okay. I was just commenting that Skip has a strong presence in a good way. And that was, I think that was a good discussion point I recall from the fire department of, it really made them think about Skip retiring and what's next and the whole concept of strong versus weak. It doesn't mean that there's a weak person so much as the role is different, just for those who are listening at home.
It's more about how the department operates, who makes what rules, who's the appointing authority, those types of things, which I don't really see it as an issue. I just think you need to pick a way and move forward with it. The other problem that I see, and I know you've already talked about this, is the fire department has operated as a fire department, and historically we haven't been able to find that they got accepted anywhere within the town. And that kind of comes into the MGLs, the Mass General laws of strong or weak chief. However, they have operated as a very strong association, which was very popular back in the 20s, 30s, that fire departments started with neighbors helping neighbors. And they formed some rules and started to operate, and some got accepted into town, some didn't. So on your case, you need to start to split that what I would call a fire association, Friends of the Fire Department, whatever the name becomes, but it operates as a 501c3. They pretty much have their bylaws are just need tweaking to handle that type of thing. And whether they're fundraising, whether it's the turkey shoots or whether it's golf tournaments, that becomes separate. That's their thing. They're raising money to do what they want to do or need to do. And then the town is operating as a municipal department with budgets, approvals, purchasing laws, all those things that are typical, whether it be the highway department, the police department, or whoever. So part of my final presentation will help to help separate some of that as to who should be doing what and how that's being done. That would probably be, 501c would be a nonprofit. It actually opens doors to them for other donations. The officers begin to review a records management system. One of the things that I find that right now they're doing their papers. They're 100% legal, but some of it's on paper. And what we call is a records management system is basically software that helps to track personnel, their hours, their training records. It's very typical within any fire department to have an electronic records management system. And there's different levels you can get and different expenses you can get. And in my final report, I'll help them as far as give some pointers as to where you might want to look for that type of thing. And it'll help them. It'll help them focus on a lot of things they do in the future. the officers customize the what we call either SOGs, SOPs, guidelines. I've developed a bunch of draft ones of those. I'm actually meeting with the officers. I think is it next week? I think to kind of go over those. I'm going to get those to you, Skip, ahead of time. By the way,
Okay.
they need to adapt them to them. I can bring some industry best practices that are very typical, and then 30% of it has to be customized to what they want, how they operate their trucks, their manpower, etc.
Can we just pause for a minute?
Sure.
Questions? Is there anything that you want to add as we're going, Skip? This is all, I know we talked about it last week, but.
Yeah, no, Russ and I have been working back and forth together. And then I had mentioned to him that the department as a whole was looking to see if we were going to get back together, Russ and the membership. So we set up a meeting with the officers on December 30th.
Yeah.
So we're going to get together with Russ. We're going to see where we're at with it, and, you know, if there's any questions or what we got to work on. We know that we've got to formalize the SOGs, which Russ just mentioned, and he's got some drafts that he's gonna be working with us on, you know, as far as that goes. The only other thing I didn't want to jump in and interrupt you, Russ, but the other thing that I had quizzed is I did get information, and I can forward it to you, Andrew, and you can distribute it to the select board as far as the delegation of authority, what that is, how that works. I spoke with the state fire marshal's office, actually their council. They've been getting a lot of requests and questions in regards to the delegation of authority statewide. So they put a guide together as far as what it is, and basically it's an administrative level in regards to the implementation and the inspection process and the permits and that the administrative part of what has to take place. And the town is responsible to get that done as long as there is a viable fire department.
Okay.
So I can go over that in detail, and I'll go over that with you as well, Russ. But Glenn Rooney was Esquire was who I spoke with, and he forwarded me a quick reference guide that they've developed in regards to delegation of authority. So, and I've done this where I've delegated some of my responsibilities as far as inspections and permits to my lower officers. So we're already practicing this, and it just needs to make sure that it just goes forward, you know, as far as that's concerned.
I think the big thing is just to make it legal to change the names, you know. And then if Mike wants to delegate that to you and whoever to the inspection process, that's fine. Did that sample have a sample letter, a request? I think it does.
It's basically, it starts off with an introductory, and it goes into the authority to enter and inspect premises. It goes into the delegation of authority. How is the authority delegated? And the interaction between the marshal and the head of the fire department, and what happens in the fire department when the head of the fire department, they don't say chief, when the head of the fire department leaves a position and there's no one within the fire department to take their place. There's certain steps, and most of it's covered under Mass General Law, Chapter 148, but it's a pretty good, quick reference that he's forwarded to me. And if you want, I'll forward it to you as well. I'm going to forward it to the board, Russ, and I can forward it to you. He sent it to me electronically, so I can shoot that to you so you can take a look at it.
Are you asking if there's a template in there for the select board? Because I know we're supposed to, the discussion last week was that in terms of select board actions, we're supposed to send some sort of letter to the fire marshal. Was that included in your?
It wasn't in mine, but I did let him know. I spoke with John Devine, the fire marshal, and he put me in touch with Glenn Rooney.
Oh, okay.
And Glenn reached out to me, and I told him that I didn't know if you had sent a written request in yet or not, but that he would be looking for it, and so he sent this to me so I can share it with you folks.
Okay, good.
Or you can just send it to me and I can put it together for them.
Okay.
Sure.
I also heard that there's some software involved that might be put into your budget. for reviews and for management systems? Is that?
There are management systems out there, obviously.
Yes. Do you have one that you would probably instigate or have?
I'm looking right now because the state, and I don't want to take Russ's time, but the state, the information, the reporting that we have to do to the state is completely changing.
Okay.
It was called MFERS or NFERS,
Yeah.
which is National Fire Incident Reporting System, is going to NERIS, which is a whole new system. There are several companies who make the transition to NERIS. We're taking a look at ESO, who we're currently with our firehouse software, and we've been doing a reporting through them. They also have multiple modules that are available to the fire department, all obviously
So
for
you
the
have,
fee.
yeah, I know.
Well, we're looking into it.
Would
now.
it be a yearly thing or a?
Yeah, it'd be an
Okay,
annual,
so
annual
that,
thing.
you gotta be aware of for your.
Yep.
Yep.
Just for the nearest reporting, if we go through ESO, it'll be about $850 annually. As you add modules to that, the prices
Okay.
go up.
So
We're getting quotes on
to
that.
your point, I think, based
Yeah.
on recommendations that are coming, right?
Yeah.
We might need to fine tune the budget
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's, I
And,
just wanna.
and one option, I'm just gonna mention this
Yep.
for everybody, because we are talking about budget overall tonight, and then FinCom, is I think we had talked about last week with Russ about if we needed to, if we weren't quite sure, is just putting in a line item that indicated possible anticipated expenses based on
Yep.
what's coming out of the report.
Yeah, so that's be another.
Yeah, so at least there's a
Yeah.
placeholder in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we're contacting a couple more companies who are doing the same thing to get an idea on.
oh, good.
To make sure that we're not just locking into a price that we don't know how it
Correct.
compares.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Good deal.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
have a question for Russ, if I may. I'm sorry, Russ, I didn't mean to step on you.
sure.
So as you may know, citizens are watching, and often I get questions outside of the meeting saying, what do they mean by this? So I want to be clear on a couple of things. Number one, I think B already said that strong chief versus weak chief is not about the person holding the job. It's about the duties that are held by that job.
Right.
But the other one is, I didn't understand, which is the membership from bylaw-based to municipal-based. So since we have a volunteer fire department, does that change it from volunteer to being hired by the municipality? Is that like a massive change, or what is that?
It's basically a label. So right now, your bylaws contain a lot of things that probably are contained in a municipal, what we'll call a call department versus volunteer department, because your members do get paid to go to calls. So that is an employment, that falls under municipality and employment. All the things that go with that, as far as, how you hire, how you fire, how you, promote, all those things start to fall under a typical municipality. So you need to be careful, because even though they're already doing it, a lot of it under bylaws, it just needs to shift over, and it's a transition and more labeling of how they operate. They become more a municipal part of government than an organization that's working with government. You're kind of mixing, going back and forth right now. And it's
So
all.
does it take the authority for hiring away from the fire department and put it in the hands of town hall? Is that the?
So good, great question. So when we talk about, it's basically MGL 42 and 42A are the laws. And it gets the short list called strong chief, weak chief. And the difference of why they get that is, strong chief is the appointing authority. That chief gets to appoint and remove as he needs, any employment, any part-timer, any volunteer, any administrator. He makes the rules. He's running the fire department, or she is running the fire department. Under weak chief, the select board becomes the appointing authority, which is, I believe, what you do now. And the chief still makes the rules, and it kind of the select board has a little bit more say in some of it, not necessarily the day-to-day rules, but the bigger global picture, the budgeting and all those things. The some of the things that fire side does not like about weak chief is politics can sometimes get involved. And then appointing becomes political instead of equity based, if you would. On the flip side of that, if you're appointed as a strong chief, sometimes the select board side or the politics side don't like it because their hands get tied if you get someone who's not performing. So they feel that they don't have the authority or the limitations to act sometimes should a fire chief not do his job or her job. So there's both sides to that. But some of that gets erased when you overlay an employment contract that has due process, due regard, hearing, all the things, should anything go wrong with either position. So what I'll be recommending is whichever they choose, there should be an employment contract that A, gives the chief his guardrails of where he needs to stay and where he works. And it does the same for the select board or their guardrails or their authority. And let's face it, no matter which, I worked under both. They both work great. You're part of the executive team, and you should be working as a team with good communication and all those things moving forward. Easier said than done sometimes when we're all dealing with humans. So, but that's in a nutshell. That's the Reader's Digest version.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying.
Russ, did you have anything else that you wanted to? So this is, oh, go
I
ahead.
think those are the high. Oh, I wanted to mention to Skip. I haven't had a chance to call him yet. But if you're starting to research your records management system, you may want to talk to your dispatch, because under dispatch, under some of this software, your reports will auto populate. So when they send you out, they're taking care of your times, your response times, and what truck is where. That auto populates and backfills into your reports, so you have less work sort of to do when you come back to the station, and or it's a lot more accurate than trying to remember. So let's say if Irving's using the Acme fire reporting or something like that, it might behoove you to go the same direction to keep it all the same.
Yeah, it's also, there is a reporting system that Shelter Control is using. There had been some issues with it on the fire side. It seems to work good for the police side, but on the fire side there have been.
Is it IMC?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
it is
you want
IMC.
Sorry.
But the one we are with, it will allow dispatch time. It will auto populate off from the dispatch, the CAD system and dispatch into our system.
Will do that.
Yeah,
Do
ESO
you know
will
what
do
Matt's
that.
using on the EMS side for his medical control records?
No, I don't.
I don't
Maybe you
know.
want to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it.
They do
Yeah,
keep-
because you might be able to buy a mod. Sometimes you can buy a module off. Let's say he's using ESO for medical. You might be able to add the fire side more economical than going to something new.
Yeah.
But no matter what he's using. But
Yeah. I'll have that conversation with Matt.
okay.
Good,
Certainly.
good.
I know that was a lot. I don't know if I covered what you need me to do.
No, what I wanted to have happen tonight, and I'll let
The select board indicate whether or not we've been successful, is we have Skip, who's been in this position for 50 years. And almost 50, yeah, sorry.
Now he counts months.
It feels like the time.
Yeah.
Feels like 50 years, right? And before that, I just want to ask you, how long was your dad the fire chief?
He was fire chief twice. He was fire chief for about 7 years.
Yeah.
And then he gave it up.
Yeah.
And then he came back, and I think he was chief for about another 3 years after that.
Okay.
Did he
Only
hand off
because
to
they-
you?
Huh?
Did he hand off to you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I was requested by the department to take the chief's position
Yeah.
because there were issues within the department and a division in the department. And even though I had been a lieutenant, I had members coming forth to me and says, "Look, we need you to be our chief." And I was reluctant because I was 21 years old at the time. So the bottom line is with pressure,
Side.
they actually convinced me to take the position on. And the only way I would take the position on is if I had their support, which I had unanimously their support, and that's where it all started, and that's where it got me here.
You must have been an extraordinary 21-year-old. My 21-year-olds are not people I would trust with a fire truck.
Well, didn't the big,
The Trinitarian,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't that fire, was that your first thing?
No, that was not.
That was right
That was
around
not,
that time though, wasn't
But
it?
it was in my first 5 years, yeah.
Yeah,
it
okay.
was, yeah. Oh yeah, we've had some corkers over the years.
Right,
But
so,
anyway.
well, I just wanted to thank you and the fire department and
Mm-hmm.
Russ so far, because I know this is a tremendous year. And what we wanted to make sure was that we were capturing all of the qualities and all of your knowledge so that
Yeah.
it's captured in such a way that it works for the department and the town, and it makes it easier for the transition.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I just want to say a big thank you and just make sure that we got the basic concepts across, like the technicalities of making sure weak versus strong teeth. We're not making any decisions tonight, it's just to get the concepts out there, see what kinds of questions come up, and then we can do more in January on that. Also, just make sure we're squared away on the delegation and making sure that that's recorded
Yeah.
with the state fire marshal, things like that.
Yeah, and I'll forward that to you as well.
Yep.
So you'll
And
have
then,
that.
and also, I think just building on the work that's been done before, which is talking about, there is a strong volunteer spirit in the department, and making sure we're building on that, but also making sure that we're doing things, if there's some things that are 501c3, that those get set up. And if there's assistance that, I think you felt that you had that all covered, but
Yep.
if you feel that you need town support to do that, then you'll let us know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any other questions or comments from the select board? I
good.
think that's
I would like to just add, Russ has been phenomenal to work with, okay?
Good. I'm glad.
And we have a mutual respect that goes a long ways.
Right.
And he has an understanding of the call volunteer organization, as well
Yeah.
as he's worked, overseeing full-time departments as well, so he's got a good balance, so.
right.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I don't think he's mentioned this before, but he joined the select board he got elected to the select board in his town. So now he has the select board side of things as
Yeah.
well. It makes him a perfect candidate.
But it's all good. No, Skip's been great. I understand and I respect this is a very hard transition. And I say that in the most positive ways, and Skip has talked about it, with myself, that there's a lot here, and you do something for 50 years, you don't even have any clue how much is on autopilot, and you just do from the way you've done it. So now it's kind of forced to look at every little book and chapter, and we'll transition it to, you got a great department, you have a strong department, you're doing a lot of things better than a lot of people. So I think we just need to keep that moving that direction and change a little bit of the wrapper here and there, and I think you'll be in good shape.
yeah, that brought up one of your
Points early on, I think, in the discussion was documenting what's already going well, right? In terms of, like, you looked at the insurance, the ISO ratings and things like that. All of those reports indicated how well the department is doing. So I think that's also nice to just bring
Yeah.
that all forward.
Yeah.
We feel that that's all working well as individuals who live in town. But again, we're just dotting all the i's and crossing the t's so that we're good to go for another 50. Yeah,
See?
okay.
I don't think you'll find one person for another 50. I'm just saying.
I won't be on the select board in 50 years, that's for sure. Okay. Great.
Good.
All right, thank you so much, Skip.
Certainly.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
Did you
Yes,
get all
we
your
did.
shopping done with for the grandkids and
Yes,
stuff?
yeah, I've
Okay.
got all my shopping done.
Good, good,
So,
good.
We'll just sit back and watch them tear packages open.
Excellent, excellent.
Have a good holiday, Russ.
Russ,
Take care, Skip. Take
thank you, Russ.
Yeah.
And then we'll touch base again after you guys are done with the lieutenants in the fire department.
Yeah, we're meeting on the 3rd, and Russ is gonna bring some information, and we've got some work, we have collectively
Yeah.
got some work ahead of us.
So,
And we're gonna be working together, and then obviously we probably should come back with an update, as we progress.
correct.
Yeah,
I'll check in with you guys
Mm-hmm.
and we'll just see which agenda has which topic. And we thought, because you guys have a lot going on in early January, there might be
Yeah.
some other things that we put on for the select board
Mm-hmm.
that are maybe select board actions that we need to talk a little bit more about. Anyhow,
good.
thank you, Russ.
Thank you. Everyone have a nice holiday.
Yeah, you too.
We good?
Thumbs up.
You are good to go.
You are
Okay.
good to go.
Have a good evening and have a good holiday.
Yeah, you too.
Skip.
Thanks
Yeah.
again, Skip. It's been a pleasure working with you on this. Truly.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we're doing it right. That's the important thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Skip's been
Yeah.
on task. Okay, next
About a half an
on.
hour to kill.
Yeah. A half an hour to kill. Okay, well, let's do
Misha's
it.
not in here till 7:30.
That's correct. Misha's coming in at 7:30. Okay, so from our November 25th discussion, if we could just look at, I updated based on the discussion with Andrea's help, the FY '27 town and select board goals and objectives. And we had quite a few pages because we had FY '25, 6, and 7. So I cleaned it up a little bit and just put everything under FY '26 to '27 so that it kind of captures the calendar year as well as the fiscal years. Anyway, so let's take a look at, I'm sure you guys already looked at this. So the organization-wide strategic goals that were in the packet. I think I just tweaked a little bit of language under goal number 4. That was about it. Is there anything, any comments or changes that you want me to make to this?
I have a couple of questions, but I'm always the talker. Does anybody else want to go first?
I think we're looking, are you on the organization-wide first and then we'll move on?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
So on C, which says, which talks about working together to propose a budget with reasonable tax increases where necessary to maintain services while preparing for future needs and growth. Are we going to put any caveat in there? Because one of the things that we want to be careful of is not just mindlessly preparing for growth, right? Something like putting a word in there, reasonable growth, anticipated growth, something that indicates that we're not just prepping for any old growth. That is that comment. And then, let's see, F, the same thing, in accordance with realistic community needs, by continuing work to improve or replace outdated facilities for police, fire, and EMS. I think that the citizens have spoken pretty strongly about being careful not to build too much and to build what is necessary to protect our people and to build what is good for what we're going to need, but not to build too much. So I would say in accordance with realistic community needs.
Can I just,
Sure.
Just for 1 second. So under C,
Yeah.
while preparing for future needs, were you suggesting anticipated growth? Planned
or
growth?
reasonably anticipated growth, something that indicates that
Okay,
it's not just a number picked out of a barrel, that we're basing it on, because we've seen the schools declining. We've seen populations staying relatively stable. And so we definitely want to fix what we have. We definitely want to put in a little cushion. But the question is, do we want to prepare for a population of 10,000 if we're not going to have 10,000 people? That was just hyperbole. I know that that's not exactly what we're doing. So that's just mitigating language.
Okay, I think when we're talking about the FinCom, I just want to clarify.
Are we talking revenue growth or growth in general?
Well, if we are increasing taxes to pay for things, I think we're assuming that we're gonna be spending more money, which to me leads to assuming that there are gonna be more people. So we need to be frugal and we need to keep we need to be spending carefully, obviously, but we need to be careful about assuming that we're gonna have a zillion more people if we're not. We wanna,
Yeah.
my only point is to make sure that we are acting consciously rather than just saying, oh, we're going to definitely grow to 10,000. You see what I'm saying?
I do, I'm taking notes and I'm just,
Wordsmithing in my head. So is there, and I'm not going to wordsmith, I can wordsmith more. I think I have some good ideas based on what you said, Sarah. And I can,
Okay, thank you.
can wordsmith that and put it back in front of you guys. I just want to see if there's anything else. So what I picked up on for words was consciously, maybe a line in here, this is from my own comment, is revenue projections, which we have been conservative about those, and something along the lines of reasonably anticipated growth. Anything else from the
I
rest of?
think which is both financial and populational.
financial and.
Okay, anything else? Okay, what was the next one? I just wanted to make sure we kind of completed
Yes,
that
no,
one.
thank you. I
Okay,
appreciate it. So F is, I was thinking of adding, so F says, for the people listening at home, says that we wanted to support vital town emergency services departments, and F is by continuing work to improve or replace aging outdated facilities for police, fire, and EMS, and I was thinking in accordance with realistic community needs. So it's essentially the same thing as the other. Basically, we don't want to build a Taj Mahal. We want to build something that really that protects our emergency services folks of all ilk, that prepares them to well serve the community, but that doesn't over build or over fancify.
One thing on that I would say, because we have looking at police, fire, EMS, but we also have a aging school. We have issues with library that they're taking care of. We have issues with all of our buildings. So I don't think you can just limit it to those three.
well,
Well, this
But-
is goal number 2 is
Yeah.
just about EMS.
We might be able-
Emergency services.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
we can do something under
Sorry.
goal and then,
And you do realize that these are just goals?
I know, but I mean,
Just-
I think that
Yeah,
if we later refer back to the goals, I think it's useful to be clear about that they were well thought out. That wasn't meant to sound yucky. I just mean that we addressed the questions with care, especially since the taxpayers have not passed at town meeting buildings a couple of times. So I think we need to keep it in the forefront that we're being conscious of keeping things within bounds.
Third time's the charm. The,
I'm just trying to think about language here. Does anybody else have any comments about this one? Short of me translating Taj Mahal into something,
Well, I think
Something
in
more
accordance
palatable.
with
Better
realistic community
understood.
needs.
what?
In accordance with realistic community needs or anticipated, like realistic isn't meant to be pejorative. I'm just trying to say in accordance with what we actually need or anticipated needs or whatever. It's essentially the same thing as the first one, which is let's not plan for overgrowth.
I don't think that, I'm okay with
As
F.
it is, because I don't think that we're stating that. I mean, I think we're stating clearly we're trying to improve and replace to better serve the community too.
To support vital town emergency services departments by continuing work to improve or replace aging outdated facilities for police, fire, and EMS. We're talking about building multiple buildings or rehabbing multiple buildings. So I think it's reasonable to put in that we're going to do it based on realistic community needs. And frankly, I think it needs to be with community involvement. Obviously, we need to hit the sweet spot about when we involve the community because we keep missing the boat.
Yeah, I'm just going to
Refer back to, let me, David, what were you saying? Say it out loud,
Fiscally
please, so that I
Fiscally responsible
Okay,
manner.
thank you. Because all of these, I just want to point out too that each of these goals interplay with each other. So if we're saying under C one thing, that actually affects what we're doing under F, for example. So perhaps echo some of.
Okay, no, I
Perhaps-
actually, yep, you're right,
yeah.
I agree with you.
So perhaps
That as long as we're, yeah.
Yep, so perhaps what I'll do from a wordsmithing standpoint is, so to capture the intent, is to maybe echo some of the language under C.
Right,
Okay,
thank you.
okay, did you have anything else on
I,
that?
which is under goal 3. Goal
Yep.
3 is to maintain and support Northfield as an affordable place to live, learn, and do business. And I says, by promoting revenue growth through user taxes for short-term rentals and meals and beverages, as well as returning unused properties to taxable status. My concern here is that the community has twice voted against the user taxes for short-term rentals. So I think that if we were to pull that out and have it separate, maybe, because, you know, the returning unused properties to taxable status, that's kind of a no-brainer. We already tax on meals and beverages, right? So the short-term rentals, though, the citizens have specifically spoken against twice at town meeting. And so I think it's it's that thing that I don't like, which is kind of assuming compliance, popping it in ahead of time before people have had a chance, and now they look at it and they're like, oh, well, it was already written. No, they've already spoken about it twice. So I don't think we can write it in here assuming. That's my issue with I.
Okay. I'm just going to point out on I.
Well, that returning unused properties to taxable status has not been a cakewalk either. So perhaps maybe using the term explore short-term rentals with the community, something like that.
Continue to explore.
Continue to explore. Thank you, David.
Okay. I think that's good.
Okay, thank you. Excellent.
So, and then
Hi,
L.
Mr. Fragile.
So that's goal number 4, preserve community spirit and encourage broad cross-sectional community involvement by and through Northfield's natural assets. L is by encouraging resident participation in townwide planning and town meeting attendance through public forums and outreach. And I've said it since the first day I walked on the select board, is we need to have reasonable sign, a large sign. We've got recreation sign out front, and God bless her, she does a fabulous job. But we have no business having a recreation sign out front when we don't have voting signs or town meeting signs right out in front. And that, I know that Dan, this before I was on the select board, Dan put that up to put like a big $30,000 brick thing out there, and everybody said, no, we don't want that digital thing. And then since then, it's felt like there hasn't been any sign at all. And that's not acceptable either. So the town voted against that, and we can bring it back or do whatever. That's not the point. The point is that we need to have signs out there, and we shouldn't have, like, the recreational sign shouldn't outshine I think it's wonderful. So again, not talking about, I'm using her as an example of goodness. She does a great job putting those signs up. We should have voting signs out front. We should have, and not just the little ones, we should have one where you put the letters on or something that's very visible. And I think it's really been a major shortfall and really inappropriate for us to not have big signs that say voting and say town meeting. I know we have the electronic sign at the T, but sometimes people don't even know. So out in front of town hall, we need a big sign. And it can be temporary, but it needs to be up there when we're voting. It needs to be up there when we're having a town meeting.
So we're hearing you loud and clear on the signage.
Yeah.
The key thing I just want to point out about goals is they're goals, and then if there's specific objectives that a select board member wants to bring forward, we can do that. So I'm going to add something along the lines of exploring signage or as an example. I'm also going to do that under J, because that's something that the downtown working group of the small businesses has been discussing signage. And they're also have been looking at the MassDOT signage coming. So when we say signage, there's one aspect of it works for the businesses, and then signage also works for civic participation as well. So let me wordsmith both of those. Is there any other comment that would be
No, on that,
useful?
that hasn't been dropped. What we've been looking at is less costly and something that's not only for voting, but for all types of things that are happening in the town. So there would be a sign that would be out there that says, select board meeting tonight, or that. But
Yeah, why don't
we
we-
have to, what we ran into is we have to make it so it is historically correct.
Yeah, you and I
Yes,
go
that's-
back a
yes,
few years
yes.
on that.
So that hasn't gone away. We have looked at other options that are less costly. I know
And
that
I've softened my stand on that
you
as
have,
well.
okay. So I know Amanda's working on that too, because she wants to get as much information out there for voting and that. And she's actually, every time we've had a town meeting or a vote, she's asked the DPW to put the sign right down as you're coming off of 5 and 10. So
The huge,
she's working
Yeah.
with what she has at the moment, but
She does put a voting today sign up when there is voting.
yes, there's
That's
voting,
the
yes,
temporary
yeah.
one.
There's
Yeah.
But yes, but that has not gone away, and
overall signage needs, if I'm intuiting your past experience as well as Amanda's drive and her ability to get things done, is to make sure that we have a way of putting all of the information out there, not just voting, like signage in general.
weekly, what's happening in,
Yeah.
weekly meetings and that sort of thing.
As
because-
opposed to like a myriad of various, like, almost like lawn signs and
Yeah, something more permanent.
sandwich boards.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, let me rework that.
But I would say, when you're putting something up on J, I think it's the thing that I've heard from citizens, specifically when putting up those speed signs, one of the complaints was all the kind of metal signage. So I think that keeping the idea of the historical signage, if we're going to go to a business district signage, to try to make it, I don't know, cottagey, antique-y, whatever.
No, historical, and actually,
There are bylaws that the planning board has for signage, so we need to be cognizant of those. And the historical commission, that's why I was kind of jibbing with Dan a little bit, is because I was a pain in the you-know-what-ski on the signage, because from a historical commission standpoint. So a side note here on the downtown working group, what they talked about is like a historical, like, kiosk sign that you see. There's in certain towns with the old-timey hands pointing in different directions, things. So we've talked about variations on a theme that would match the character of the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only have two more.
Oh, goodness.
For M, participation, so M is under preserve community spirit and encourage participation. M is by encouraging participation on and communication between residents and boards and committees. We talked probably a year ago about making sure that we had infrastructure in that room to have Zoom meetings and stuff like that. But I had the recent experience of trying to attend the EMS meeting in that room, led by a town employee, and they seemed unable to provide Zoom participation. That's a serious problem and unacceptable. I mean, we've been waiting for a year, and Andrea, I know she got that nice new microphone up front, I think, but we need to, as a committee, as a board, make sure that we have the little tiny bits of digital infrastructure that we need to do the job appropriately, because I was assigned to be on that board by the select board and was refused attendance because the chair of the board, the EMS director, said that he didn't know how to do a Zoom meeting. And and I spoke to Andrea, and she said they didn't have the proper cord. But tonight I'm on the Zoom meeting. So I just think that we need to get a standardized way that somebody who walks into the room that's representing the town is able to do the duties of the town.
okay, so I'm gonna take that up just.
Had, and just say that in general, we have talked about having a better, Zoom has been problematic on a number of fronts. I'm not going to speak about the specific example that you have. I'm just going to say in general, Zoom can be a challenge, particularly in this room. And some adjustments have been made. we're also, it's not a cheap endeavor, and so one of the things that Andrea and I spoke about was using, which grant?
Community
Program?
Compact IT grant, it's due February 5th.
Okay, so it's a perfect example of something we're going to use that for another project at some point, and it's a perfect program for that, and my understanding is it has not been cut, right? It's still ongoing.
No, that one just got released.
Okay, that just got released. So
we could get like a dedicated computer with the proper cabling and everything.
I think when you call the people in, it's going to be a much more extensive system than that. You have to you're probably going to end up with things, it's a multi $10, $20, $30,000 solution. You can't just
But right
get.
now, you have this
It's-
old computer, which you said is your personal computer, right? Or a secondary computer, and whatever cordage we need. But because you weren't able to attend the meeting, supposedly I couldn't get on Zoom. So I think, a computer costs, what, a reasonable baseline computer, $500, $1,000, and cordage is $12 or $15. Because that's what we're running now.
Okay, let's.
We're talking about goals here, this isn't a bitch fest.
This is
Okay.
It wasn't intended to be.
Well, it is, it's become a bitch fest, really.
all right.
We're
All right.
talking,
Infrastructure, and it sounds like we're doing that.
We're gonna move on.
Everyone, I'm going to control the discussion here. We can't be talking over each other. This is one of the problems with Zoom. Both ways, not just saying one. And if we have a point, let's just make the point. We're working on wordsmithing and language.
Okay.
Okay?
And I have my last one.
Okay.
Okay.
But I didn't see a topic on there. We had talked previously about reworking the personnel policies. And I didn't see anything on the goals there, so I wasn't sure whether that would be goal number 5 or what.
Well, don't forget, we also have what we're doing on the select board. This is for town, this has to apply basically to all.
Across the town committees and town efforts. So why don't we move into, if that's okay, why don't we move into the next one, which is the select board one specifically, okay? Because then that is where we're holding ourselves accountable, not really necessarily involving other boards or commissions. Okay? All right, so it looks like this. It's in the gold. It says governance up at the top. Okay, and this will be going, so we do the budget book. I'm just going to hold up the budget with all my lovely beat up budget book that I use. So we do one of these each year, and this page that says governance is really the update for the one that will be coming out, right, for the annual town meeting in May. So I put, and I highlighted on the first page, if you look down at the bottom, year in review, 2025 accomplishments, needs wordsmithing. We don't need to go over that tonight because we're not done with 2025 quite yet. And this is really a summary for the book that goes out in May. So we're actually ahead of the game here. So if we turn to like the third page, it says FY26-FY27 goals. And then I also put, perhaps we could do some new photos with this. So goal number 1, and this is where it has the objectives, Sarah, so we can get a little bit more into specifics. So goal number 1 is public safety facilities. And why don't we start there and see if there's any wordsmithing or commenting or specifics that any of the select board. And I'm going to start with, if you don't mind, Sarah, I'm going to start with David and Bernie and Dan first and just see, is there anything on this page that jumps out for you guys or you're comfortable with the wording? I tried to keep it as simple as possible. It actually reflects what we've done before, but I just tried to tighten up the language so it was a clearer statement.
Yeah, it's clean, it's quick. I didn't have any changes to this one.
Okay.
Yeah, you put too many words in there, you confuse people.
Right, and
Then
we-
you leave it open to interpretation because you've added extra words.
Yeah,
Let's
and I
keep
just
it
want to be
simple.
able to spit it out at a meeting. Okay, and then, Sarah, anything on goal number 1?
I would take out the address on the fire station. Just say developing a new fire station. We know where EMS is, but I don't know that we're certain where the fire station is gonna
I
be.
think that the building committee designated that's where they wanted to put their building.
Yeah.
That's the old one that everybody voted down, right? Isn't that the Millbrook area that everybody voted down?
Same site, just a different building.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think you're safer off. I guess this isn't really binding, right? So it doesn't really matter, but I would take off the address.
This is where they're at. I'm reflecting basically what the discussion.
Building committee and actions have been to date.
But
That
these
does,
are the goals of the select board, right?
correct. Yep. And that we are in fact supporting both the chiefs and departments as well as the emergency services facility building committee. So, I'm just gonna leave that for now. It just reminds me that the building, I need to have Skip come back as the building committee. That's also on his transition list too. So, we'll bring him back for that. What about goal number 2? Oh, and we're already underway on our objectives on that. Look at that. So, all right, goal number 3. I kept that simple. Is there anything else that you want to add on sewer?
Before you jump off of 2,
Oh, sorry.
continue to
Which one?
work on EMS services and operations. Or
Yep.
is Matt in that department, they're all good with their SOGs? Is that
He's
something?
developing them.
Yeah.
He's developing
He's
them.
redoing,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
had, they do have operating
They're updating them.
procedures.
He had some he brought from his.
So is that worthy to add or just no?
I think I'm going to change that language to reflect exactly where they are, which is updating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that will be a simpler statement. That's a good catch, David. Thank you. Okay. What about goal number 3?
I would interject fire department succession transition rather than just succession transition. Are we talking all succession transitions?
Oh, on measurement, up at the top. Yeah, okay. Yep. Got it.
That's all I had for that one.
Okay. Under
Now, part
measurement,
3.
thank you. Okay, now goal number 3. Sorry, I was jumping there a little bit on what you had, David.
That's okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure I understand the reference to C goal number 4.
On 4?
I'm just, I mean,
Goal
I'm not
4?
part of the board setting this goal, I'm just trying to understand it as a reader.
So my,
I know.
so for
Sorry.
measurement on number 3,
Yep.
you start off with C goal number 4, that's just bad form.
Well, that's what I've just said, I'm confused by, because I'm not sure what it means. I'm sure it means
Oh,
something.
seagull?
If you're gonna have
No.
reference something, you need to state it first and then you refer it.
It's, okay, thank you, good
So
point.
just cross
I mean,
that
it's
out.
nitpicky, but
No, it's not, actually. What I was trying to do here was, if you just jump ahead a little bit on goal number 4 and look at develop or enhance educational material to explain how long-term capital and financial planning works, especially use of debt with multiple major projects over time. There, I've referenced sewer and water there, so I can certainly repeat that language up above. I think
But you even need it.
maybe
No,
not.
'cause it's
No,
gonna-
that's
it's
right,
gonna be-
because,
It's in
all
the
right,
next
never
one.
mind.
Get to the next.
Never mind. I'm gonna
Goal.
just cross that out.
okay.
And I'm gonna refer back to what I said to everybody else before, which is goal number 4. If we accomplish that, we'll happily influence goal number 3.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, thanks, guys. Okay, are we ready to move on to goal number 4?
Yep.
Because water and sewer, I think, is pretty straightforward. Goal number 4, community engagement and outreach. Okay, here's where we can dive in a little bit more.
It looks like the first paragraph of measurement is identical to the first paragraph of objective.
It is.
What do you want for measurement? think I put that in there because I thought we needed more of a measurement, and I wasn't quite sure what else to say. It's like a placeholder for something more specific, or I can just drop it all together. What's,
I mean, the sign could go there.
Okay. All right, let's develop a.
statement around signage under measurement? Anything else? And I'll get rid of the extra language in there. Okay, is that good? Okay. Because we're coming up, we're almost ready. I mean, Misha's here, so we want to. All right, how about goal number 5?
I think this is where the exploration of,
The IT.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, I'll put language in.
There. And goal number 6, what I did was we've had incident management training on our to-do list for, I'm going to say a couple of years now. So I moved that specifically as a measurement under select board training in goal number 6. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add to that?
Let's get that one done this year.
Okay.
There is one for me. I was waiting for other people. We had talked last year. Both David and I noticed. Dan would have noticed because he's so experienced in town hall. But both David and I noticed when we came onto the select board that it would be really useful to have a more standardized onboarding procedure. And we talked about it as a board. I think maybe last year or maybe earlier this year.
Okay.
So I'd like to add that onto objectives. And then also the reworking of the personnel policies. That's not anywhere here, and I don't know whether it would add as goal 7 or just review and rework. I have some specifics, but I don't know if I want to bring it up in the general meeting.
No, because we'll have it as an agenda.
We're actually going to walk through sections of the manual so then we can focus in on everybody's favorites. Okay, can you guys send me, David and Sarah, can you just send me any language that you think would be useful under goal number 6 for quote-unquote onboarding? As a measurement?
For onboarding.
Yeah. Just, even if they're rough thoughts, I can edit into, if you guys just send me like, bloop, and David sends me, bloop, then I can just, but I kind of need a starting point. I'm a better editor than a writer. Okay, great. Misha, come on up. Thank you so much. And we have a surprise for you.
You do.
Ooh.
We do. Where's the book?
Oh, yeah, it was right
It's
here.
for sale. I have it right here.
You hit it?
Limited
Stole
edition.
it.
Oh, something that needs to be posted.
Well, we're thinking this is the result of a 13-year project
Okay.
involving National Park Service grants.
Yeah.
Multi-towns were involved. It was really helped along, shall we say, by the town of Montague and Walter Ramsey, who at the time I think was town planner. Now he's worked his way up to town administrator.
Okay.
So Joe Gravelin was
Yep.
here to present this result, and that is for the library, and we're thinking the history room, if that's okay with you.
Sounds great.
Great. And then Joe is we're going to do a historical commission meeting on this very topic.
Okay.
We'll invite you, because I know you've been instrumental on some of our
Okay.
really fun meetings. And Joe is going to reach out to you because he would like to do a program at the library on this.
Cool.
And then that would highlight the use of the book and how it came about, and then, kind of turn people on maybe to the history room, because it's just
Great.
such a beautiful space.
That sounds good.
Great.
That's not a bad surprise.
No, it's a good one. Sorry, I know, I usually hate when people say, I have a surprise for you. It usually means somebody's unhappy
So
somewhere.
you have to read that and report back to us in a week.
Yeah, you'll just have to come back on January 6th and tell us what you know from that.
Okay.
All right, but you're here for the assistant librarian of programming and outreach. And we're
Yes.
going to, we had it in our packets. Do you want to give us the overview and we'll move on from there.
Yes, so currently we have a position for assistant librarian programming and outreach. And that position, so Matt is that person, and he was hired with this job description in 2014, and a lot has changed since then, kind of gradually over the years. And the job description no longer matches what he's doing. He's doing a lot more than this, and the biggest, I mean, there's little things here and there, but the biggest kind of focus of this reworking of the job description is the fact that anytime I'm not there, he's the person that people are asking questions, and he's the person that makes little sometimes big decisions. If it was big, he would call me. But
Sometimes we just go to Matt directly because
Right.
he's so darn helpful. Okay, go ahead.
And I don't think it's fair that he's holding that responsibility and it's not in his job description, and therefore he's not getting
Not
paid
getting
accordingly.
compensated.
Yeah.
Good catch.
So there's, you can see the changes in the job description in red. A lot of it, I would say like 90% he's already doing. So he already assists me with administrative tasks when I'm not available. His previous job description said that he assists volunteers. Which is a weird thing to say, but we kind of split. We have some volunteers that he supervises and some that I supervise.
So he oversees.
Yes, and that includes training them. Further down, in the absence of the library director, he performs and supervises he keeps the library running when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he assists with long-term planning. I'm writing all the long-term plans with the trustees, but I think there needs to be compensation for the fact that I'm like constantly bouncing ideas off
Are you
of him.
picking his brain?
Yes.
Of
I mean,
course. Yeah.
so, and what else is he already doing? So, assists the director in monitoring, responding to library emails, phone calls, and messages. He answers the phone and listens to the voicemails, and we have a shared email that people email for the library. A couple things that he's not doing, but we could add in, is occasional tasks, like if I'm out sick for a particularly long time, this job description would then give them a responsibility of doing the payroll or bills that needed to get done if I was not there. So that would be something that he's not doing yet.
Thoughts? Questions
So
or
I'm looking at
comments?
this grade level. What grade and step level is he at?
5.
5?
You have to be reclassified. If you accept these, I think you reclassify.
You have to
because it's-
reclassify.
Right.
Oh, I think because you're talking about different supervision, different tasks, different responsibilities.
So-
It's serious enough to, I think, reclassify.
All right. So do we need to add what she's saying about payroll and that sort of thing?
That's in the job.
in-
Oh,
it's in the
okay.
It's in
edits,
here.
yeah.
It's
Okay,
the
it's in your new
suggested-
edits. Oh, okay, I thought you were saying,
So
do we
we're
need to
doing a
add it?
reclassification, is what I'm
Is our
understanding.
next step.
If you
Yes.
vote to accept this, then yes, the
Yeah.
next step would be a reclassification.
Yep. Step by step. Any other questions on so we're just doing job description, the next step would be classification, and somebody would leap forward.
A question.
Yes, Sarah?
So on the recommended minimum qualifications, we have 3 years of library experience. Now, Matt, I know, has that, but is that, if we have that in the job description, is that going to limit future hires? Because, like, is that an unreasonable expectation? Just Matt's awesome, so he already has that?
No, I don't know where to look when I'm talking to Sarah.
I'm sorry. I'm up. If you look at the up at the TV, I can see you.
So I myself and the trustees edited this with
Future people in mind. So Matt, we want to keep him forever, but we probably won't. So 3 years is reasonable. I also, all the edits that I made are based off of similar job descriptions in similar sized libraries in Massachusetts. So the 3 years came from that, from experience from other libraries. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So it's market-based then?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any other questions?
Yeah.
I'll-
I understand exactly
job.
what's going on there.
Yep, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the job description as presented regarding.
moved.
Okay,
Second,
any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sarah?
Yep, I
Aye. Okay,
haven't been quiet that time. Just a minute.
I saw your thumb going up, so I was taking it as a yes. Okay, shall we
thank
assign
you.
somebody to the classification effort? So we can get that done.
I don't know how that
You'll
works.
already be part of it.
It'll be me, but I don't know.
Right, you'll
who
get,
else.
you'll get one
It's
of
always
us.
me,
Yeah.
The department head, and then a finance committee member
Yeah.
and a select board member.
Okay.
So bare minimum.
Okay, we have a volunteer,
All right.
David.
Thanks,
David's gonna
David.
do it now.
Okay,
If you weren't, I was.
okay.
I was gonna,
Beat you to it.
you beat me to it.
It's so much fun.
It is, not bad.
Absolutely.
Just have to.
Yeah,
Gotta make
that'll
a
be a
rubric.
quick one.
All right. And so someone will be assigned from finance committee the
They
next
have a
meeting.
standing, isn't Gail doing the thing? I'll check with her, but I think you guys assigned a person to that task
Yeah,
at the beginning of the,
Okay.
it wasn't me, was it?
no, I think it's Gail.
I think
I
it's
was,
Gail.
I've been
In
on
the
so many of them.
tradition, it always was the FinCom chair who did it.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
think,
why I was on
they-
it.
I think they're continuing that tradition, if I remember
I will
correctly.
do my best to actually get all of that out tomorrow, because it takes a
Okay.
week or so to gather them up.
I won't
So-
blame you if you don't get it out
Well,
on
I'm
Christmas
assuming
Eve.
people won't be doing it the next day, but
Okay.
that gives people some time,
So-
rather than wait.
Once that happens, if we decide that, or if it gets
The
decided,
classification comes back to you
Yeah,
true.
as the select board.
And obviously, we're looking at an increase. That would be on
Yes.
2027? Or would it be,
FinCom change to library budget for change in position if accepted.
that would be the
Yes.
next
So-
step.
be in
It
your
could
budget.
be that we also, I built in, I mean, we can talk
Right.
about it, but I also have a built-in sub-budget that I asked for a couple years ago, so it could be that the last
I
few
don't know
months
how
of the
it-
fiscal year is covered.
So once
Wages.
it's classified, she can
Yeah.
get a sense of what the amount will be, and then
Yeah.
she can
Yeah.
evaluate whether there's
Okay.
a small.
It could be that I have it somewhere.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna summarize. It sounds like you've been thinking ahead per usual. Next step is classification.
Yep.
Classification comes back. Any resulting changes in the dollar would be noted with the select board and would go before the FinCom, presumably before you present your budget.
Well, probably not, because she's the first one.
I'm the first.
Oh,
for
you're
budget.
first up.
Yeah, sure,
But
Sam.
we'll talk, because I think you just
I-
submit them on notice.
Yeah.
You're not
Okay.
talking, you're not talking a huge.
Just give them a heads up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not talking big
Yeah.
numbers here. You're not talking
Okay.
No, it's not crazy.
$10,000.
yeah, and a lot of times, we're not looking at dollars as, the salaries either.
Do you
We're
support
looking at
this?
other things
Yeah.
other than salary. So,
Yeah.
the finance
Yeah.
committee will looking at your budget, but that's a part that would come later.
Right, right.
Okay.
Thank you.
The FinCom will take that up when you present,
Okay.
and we will take up classification and make sure that happens so that you have something to talk with FinCom about.
Great.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Okay, what do we have next? Review budget and budget calendar. We don't need to go into depth, but
We're just starting, so.
We're
I just sent you the calendar again for updates. There's no
changes?
no big changes.
I think I got 16 of those.
okay. So I'm just going to point out that we go through the, not we, but almost every week, we're getting into that
We're gonna get
period.
into that weekly, the finance committee.
The finance committee gets a big packet of budget information, and it's something that the select board has followed from a distance. Like, I've gone to the meetings, Bernie's gone to some of the meetings. For example, David used to be on the FinCom. So what I wanted to make sure was, as we're handing stuff out to FinCom, we're also sending that to the select board, and the select board is watching those changes in the budget, in the budget documents as we go.
Yeah,
So
you'd
then,
want to, or the select
Yeah.
board would want to probably check on the more, like when we have Pioneer come in, we'll have the tech school come in again. It's going to be the same thing, but they're going to give their overall budget and not necessarily talk about their new building.
Well, that's, yeah.
Usually
That's
DPW, police, fire, those are the ones that have some of the bigger budgets. So,
Usually what I do at this point is I just go through that document and I look at the percentage changes just to see
Yeah.
what's going on. Some of them are perfectly obvious and expected, like health insurance costs, but there might be some others that generate questions. And I'd like to get the select board, if there are questions as we go through this.
well, the good news is,
Well, you won't see the percentage change in these yet, because it's the finance committee, but you do
Right.
see the difference column, so you
Right.
can see where the numbers are changed.
So, and it also shows you from one year to the next, which I think is helpful. So you can basically eyeball what you think are the major percentage
You'll
changes.
see 3
and,
years.
and again, if there's any issues, I'll be at the meeting, this meeting, and can explain some of them too. So I'm at pretty much
Yeah, and I
every one
want
of
to
the
tap
meetings,
into
so.
David's experience. I just don't want to put off, not put off, but kind of, I want to make sure that the FinCom materials that are going to FinCom are, because they're all departments,
Yeah.
and we're responsible for
Correct.
those budgets from a roles and responsibilities standpoint, the select board is, that we're understanding what's being presented to the FinCom, even if we're not going to the FinCom meetings. I like to go to the departmental presentations to see what questions FinCom has, and then we can incorporate that into a select board agenda as needed if something, that requires more discussion come up. But I've asked Andrea to make sure that we're getting those materials so that select board members can be looking at them in parallel to the FinCom.
So I can just give you a quick thing on this. This is
Yeah.
the line item budget. This is not what you will see. It's very close, but it's not exactly what you see when we do the omnibus budget article, because some of these actually merge in the omnibus budget article have historically. So some of these things that you're seeing laid out merge into like
A big line item.
Yes.
fire department
Yeah.
expenses, police department expenses, but this is what we call the line item budget. This
Right.
is exactly the piece that that department gets. So what you get here is exactly what they're given for their full line item.
And what they're submitting.
Correct. So
Yeah.
this, once they submit it, I put it back in here. So they submit me a separate sheet of paper, and then I put it back in here.
Right.
But this is the full sheet they're filling out. Then some of these merge when we do the omnibus traditionally, so you're not voting the full thing.
Yeah.
Quick down and dirty, if you see a yellow, because I think well, those are assessments. So the reason it's a yellow is because we haven't gotten those assessments. Animal control officer salary is an assessment sent to us by that program. Obviously, the school assessments are sent to us by the school. So they're yellow because we don't request them, we don't fill them in, they're assessments. The only other one you'll see.
Well, and they haven't calculated the assessments
They
yet
haven't
either,
given it to
so,
us,
yeah.
right, they haven't been delivered. The only other one you'll see is there's some pink.
Yeah, I was wondering what the pink was.
They haven't submitted their budget.
Ooh.
How many?
One,
Oh, just one?
Department.
Which
One
department?
department has it?
Board of
Fire
Health.
department?
Oh,
Board of Health.
Board of Health.
oh, that's interesting.
So,
That's one we'll call in for sure.
I,
Okay.
How are we gonna talk about different sections per meeting? Is that what you said? Because I have some questions about the select board section.
That's based on the budget you already passed.
Yeah, we already passed that at the last.
Me.
I have some questions though, can I ask?
Sure.
Okay. So, the technology went from 5,000 in 2025 to 10,500 in 2026 to 11,000. What's that? Is that the webpage?
New website.
Yeah, we
That's the
talked,
new website.
the-
Okay, I'm just.
Yeah, it's the new
Sorry,
contract.
I'm checking because.
Yep.
So the web page is $11,000 a year, or it's $5,000 a year because we had 5K before.
It's $10,000 a year, and it gets an increase each year. It
Okay.
was 10,007 or 7 or 8 this year.
Okay, and then the telephone, why is that under us? Shouldn't that be under the town administrator? The $5,000, $9,000?
That's the entire town hall.
Yeah.
Right, you're the, I mean, as select, we don't use,
And
anyway.
my town administrator budget, just simply my expense lines. I don't have any departmental
We
or
are
operating expenses.
we're the over, when we
You are
say
the
select
overseer,
board, we're
yeah.
the overall,
We're the bucket.
yeah.
Yeah, mine are just like
The
going to
overseer
meetings,
of-
mileage and dues and board and committee meetings. I don't have any expenditures that relate to operating expenses for the town.
But we're the executive. So anyway, it seems more logical to have than if they don't go under you. I mean, if they
Well,
don't go under you, you're the one that has the secretary and the phone. Maybe they should be under town hall, town-wide, because they're not, I mean, they're not specifically under the executive. So that's just a logical question, but I guess we can talk about that as we move forward. Okay.
I don't think it's been like that.
Decades.
Right, and it's been illogical, so I think it's okay to change things if it makes them better, even if it's been like that for a long time.
If it adds another layer or a whole nother a budget area to supervise, we're responsible as executives for the way the town runs. So some of those expenses end up in quote unquote the select board budget. So I'm always open to new ideas, but not ones that we would be actually adding a different structure or a different budget and then kind of adding to everybody's workload through the whole process. Anything else on the spreadsheet? And we'll just, maybe as you're sending stuff out to FinCom, send it out to the select board, take a look if there's questions.
Well, you should just send out the calendar.
Well, you mean the line item?
Oh, you want
The line item budget as it progresses, once you guys,
Okay.
once
Well,
the
they get it.
FinCom gets going.
The FinCom will get it every week.
Yes.
Correct.
So you want the select board to get it weekly? Doesn't
That's what
change
I'm
every
thinking.
week.
I'll take it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Want it.
Why wouldn't we be looking at the same thing the FinCom is?
It doesn't change every week necessarily, but.
That's fine.
No, but then we're completely up to date as we've been doing that with other committees. I'm looking at sewer. We've just gotten into the discipline of looking at the budget on a regular basis. And then any small changes, everyone's like, okay, I'm good, because we've been talking about it so much over time. So I'm just trying to institute a new discipline for the select board in that respect. Okay.
Building maintenance.
Town hall building maintenance. I have this
Okay.
radio voice next.
It just made sense.
This is an update.
Right, since
Alan
we've had a little bit of
Boucher.
time, I'm going to ask, since he's only been on for 3 or 4 months, I just wanted to give you an update of where we're at, but I am going to ask, and you'll see why, I'm going to ask Michael to come in a few months to talk about some things that have happened when he's had a chance to work with them. So the biggest change is we're working with a consultant, because we're a pilot program through our insurance company, and they're setting up an AI maintenance software system for the town hall and the library. It does asset management tagging to track maintenance of building assets like furnaces, boilers, HVAC equipment, water heaters, or actually anything we want, and integrates into a work order system that tracks requests and then the responses. So we've tagged 48 pieces of equipment, and if you look, I don't know if you can all see it, I think it's on the other side. You
yeah.
see the QR code?
See the QR.
So I can take that,
Oh, yeah,
shoot it,
yeah, and they can fix it.
the maintenance request comes up and I can say, not working, and it sends a maintenance request order in to Michael, and then he responds, and when he fixes it, he clears it, makes it. But more importantly, they tagged every piece of these. I think we're up to 48 pieces right now. Took pictures of them, inventoried them, did their actual registration numbers, so that it said, when did they get, because it goes out into AI, when did it get built? When was it installed? We've put every piece of information we know. We can take a picture. The system will tell us the condition we think it's in. We can put in conditions. So we have a page or more information on every single piece of equipment we've tagged. And it will also then track all the work orders and all the ongoing work on that equipment. Every year we can update it. If it's outside, we can take a new picture. It'll look fair, poor, good, based on rust or whatever. and we can follow along, not only as what Michael's doing in terms of his actual maintenance work, we're watching our pieces of equipment, so that if we're all of a sudden starting to do more and more maintenance on a piece of equipment, so we are inputting what we think based on age, lifespan, so that we are creating our own work history, work plan, maintenance and capital projects.
This is great.
Would that be expanded once we get, say, EMS building and fire
It
building?
it could be.
And
Well, that's what I was
school?
saying, for
And
the
school?
sewer, we have an asset management plan, but it would be nice to have it electronically like that.
Right, so we're starting with this, like I said,
Starting with this and then,
we're a
you
pilot
know, to
program.
expand, yeah.
I don't know how long we're gonna get it. At some point, it's software, we might have to buy it. If we do, then we wanna expand it and make sure that we expand it to include more. But
Yeah.
right now, we're just piloting it. Maya has offered it to us for free, because they're looking for a pilot program.
Great.
And so we're doing this, we're working with a company, True Data Ops, and he has been here, and Michael calls him with questions. He's also said, I can create things for you, if there's something you figure you want, you know, I can add that to the system.
Wow.
I think you really need to talk with Karen.
So the basic information is stored, like age, registration, serial numbers. We know the details. We've entered, like I said, what we know. It also fills in information, because we didn't know when some things were stored, but based on the registration number, it'll say, oh, this was built in this year. So at least we can assume we know roughly when it was installed, because we know when it was actually created.
This is
So
great.
we can assign life expectancy information, so that we can then be looking at our own capital planning. And when replacements should be done based on age, maintenance history, so we can look at the maintenance history. We're entering the email addresses for employees, so they can have their phones. In fact, I just gave him all the email addresses, the official town email addresses for employees, and then we may expand that, so you could have one in case you're sitting here one time and said, this isn't working. And
If I
then
wanna
they
put in a
can use their
request?
phone or computer, you can sit at your desk, and you have an account that he's creating under this, and then you will put work orders in based on your email address or your computer account. Then they can do it for any equipment we have tagged, or add anything. So if something else isn't working, or the shelf needs repair, or a light bulb and it's not tagged, put in a work order. It's all being calculated. They can attach a photo or a video if you want to show a problem. You can actually video it and include it to our work order. We're using the system to track all of the routine and called for maintenance on every piece of equipment and every job that we're asking Michael to do. And so I wanted to give you an update, we're using it, but in a few months I'll have Michael come in to give an update after he's been here long enough to really have the system in use for a few months and we get a really good feel for it. I'd like to have him come in and talk about it, but I just wanted to give you a sense of
That's great.
how that's really going.
No, that's great. That was something that when Heath
A
was
lot of other
on,
departments could use that too.
we know a
possibly
willing
monthly.
And he's
department.
been over at the library today, I know he was with Nisha, so
Okay.
we're also doing it
Good.
over at the library, tagging all
Great.
that equipment and going forward with that.
Good job.
That's something that Heath
Like,
talked.
when it's gonna be, I'm trying to get a beat on kind of the breadth of it.
No, that's the kind of thing you put in a work order if it's not running properly, if you think something. But this is for large pieces of equipment that we know we have to put on a capital or maintenance plan. You know, our boilers, our those kinds of things, so that we also, even if they don't cause us any trouble, how old is it? When did it get installed? You know, and if we start seeing that all of a sudden we're having more and more calls on it. Also routine maintenance. He's
Yeah.
putting in, I did it this time, a year from now it's gonna flag him and say, time to
Yeah,
have
do
the,
this, yeah.
time to have this serviced. So it's a you know,
So it
a
keeps
work order
things in,
system.
in good working order because it's reminding us when stuff is due.
Correct.
We get a capital plan out of it, which is nice. And we're making sure that large purchases, we can see those coming as opposed to waiting until like total failure and then it's a replacement and an emergency
And it
request.
doesn't rely on our sense of, gee, did we really, you know, did
When
we
was
go-
the
did
last
we-
time we changed
or
the
did we do
filter?
a lot of calls? We feel like we've been calling a lot on this particular HVAC unit. Is that my impression? No, we can look in there and see, you know, in the course of a year, 5 calls on that HVAC unit. What is going on?
Great.
We need it serviced, we need it replaced, what's
Good.
going on with the line,
Glad to hear it.
so that's, just wanted to give you an update that we are moving forward with something new
Proactive
there.
rather than reactive.
Yeah.
Right, and so it's been really great to have start, and we've had all sorts of fun and wonderful issues. I do want to let you know, because I have pre-warned the finance committee. As you notice, this room has no other heat other than that. As the same thing for the records room. These mini splits, great for cooling, should never be primary heat in a room like this in New England. It just can't do it. We've had no end of trouble with this unit as a result. So we have asked, because we've had to have our HVAC people in, they have done some line inspection, they have done some work we've discovered, so I won't even go into all that. I have asked them to give us a quote to run heat to this office and that office off of our heat system, the boiler, the pellet boiler. So they're going to give us a quote. They will come up from downstairs and they could run baseboard along here because it's right below us in the other offices. And the same in the other room, because these rooms need to be heated.
Yes.
But do they need to be heated all the time?
No, we can control the heat. We can turn the thermostat up and down. But the point is, we've sat in this office,
You
this
need the
room, but it's
equipment.
60 degrees because this isn't working. There's no heat. She's bringing in
Yeah.
a little portable thing to try and
Yeah.
heat it up for meetings.
Okay.
So anyway, but that is a capital request. I'm waiting to get those
Okay.
numbers because we really need to put these two rooms on some.
All right, so when, we'll add that to our list of
So you will
reviews.
probably see that coming.
Okay,
I have two questions. There's also the senior center stove and the old firehouse furnace. Are those on, because there's two things that I've heard repeatedly having issues. Are those on the little QR checklist? Are those on the capital plan to replace?
We don't do the fire department at this point in time.
I meant that old the one that's right on town hall property.
Boy Scout.
Oh,
The Boy Scout house, yeah.
The Boy Scout house is,
oh, that's
the
a
Boy
whole
Scout
nother
house is a
topic.
very large, different project, and we've tried to work with them on getting them prioritized, because you can't put a furnace in there until you insulate the building. You can't insulate the building without putting in new
okay.
windows. That's a large project.
But
This-
that's a town building, right?
Yeah,
the senior-
You call it the Boy Scout house, but isn't it a town
Yeah.
building?
Correct.
Yes, so, yeah.
That is a whole nother topic to go onto the agenda. There's a long history involved in that. It would be a completely separate project to bring that up to snuff. That went through several conversations
iterations,
with several different committees. So Sarah's right, it needs to be addressed at some point, but not tonight.
The senior center stove he's all over that. We've worked with them. on
Okay,
that.
so that's
He-
in his
Yep,
system.
yep,
Okay,
Yep.
good. Okay, thank you. All right, did you have anything else? I know he just graduated from the program that the tech school was talking about at the last meeting.
Right, and we
So
do have the.
congrats.
I wanted to congratulate him. As soon as he started, we were fortunate enough to have to be able to sign him up for a 12-week program, which was really, really helpful. It was 3 or 4 hours every night for 4 nights a week. And it was done a couple of things. One is it has really given him the basics in a lot of areas, some of which he already knew, but it also did a lot with HVAC. Literally how to clean these mini splits. He's come in and done them. His instructor has been on call to him. In fact, he called him just today, I think. He said, call me anytime. So the resources that he's given him have been tremendous. So he now has people as a resource for specific things, but also he's touched in areas as well as the
All the
class.
areas.
The class was set up to help you be a building maintenance person. So, and he's also been exposed to some other classes they offer that I've encouraged him, if it's something that ends up in his wheelhouse, that he might consider. So,
Well, this kind of ties into our next system, because that was something that
and that was
Dr.
in the paper. Congratulations.
Yes, it was on the front
Congratulations.
page too. So congratulations to Michael on that. Good for us. And that brings us into regional school districts enrollments and costs.
I'm sorry, B, I had one more question about the maintenance. Now that he's been on and he's finished his school, does he have set hours? Are they the same as town hall? Does he work Monday through Friday? What are the hours for him?
He's in, most days we're in, but however, sometimes he has to set up appointments on Friday, so his hours can be flexible. He may have an afternoon appointment or a morning appointment, so he moves his schedule around. I see him most days. he's coming in when we open. He's actually here usually before me. He'll come in the morning. I come in at 8, and I'll go in. His door's already open. He's been in for an hour. But sometimes he's leaving or he has an appointment, or he's come in on the weekend.
All right, we don't need to totally get into details, but he did come in for an emergency as well, and he's got a regular schedule if we need to get into that.
He was in last Friday.
All right, good. Regional school districts enrollments and costs. Sarah, you had something, this was something that you had sent me an email about. I put a general topic here because I know the other select board members will have thoughts on this as well. So why don't you tell us why you had a specific thing?
After the meeting, I was just, thinking about the costs. And so they were talking about for the new building. So this is no judgment on what they were asking. This is just me trying to figure out the cost. Right now we have a $900,000 or a little over, right, that we send them per year. And then they were talking about a 1.3 for the new building. Is that over and above the 900? Does that make it a $2 million or? You see what I'm saying?
No. So
right now, what we're paying is, you're right, is a little over 900,000. I think it's 901. The building
expenses for the new building were listed as 1.3 million per year for several years. And I was wondering, is that on top of the 900,000?
Yeah, one's a capital expense, one's your assessment for
operating
students
versus
operating,
capital.
students attending.
Okay.
One's tuition.
I don't know what the 9 was, but 1.3, so that's around 2.2 million per year to the Franklin School. And then we have, 50 students, 60 students? I just want to calculate. I just wanted to get an idea of what we're spending, and we're going to have PVRS into. I'm curious. I'm just trying to, when I get questions about money, I want to be able to answer them.
well, I'm not sure the
mathing on the tech school part that you just said, so it's currently 901.
But that varies every year with
It
enrollment.
varies based on enrollment, so that's why I had asked you about mentioned the number of students. So our assessment each year is tied to the number of Northfield students who are going to the tech school, right? And that pays for operating, and then there's also a charge, which if I remember correctly, was like 11,000.
Oh, there's an old capital assessment.
There's an old capital assessment of like 11,000. That's in the budget book. Mm-hmm. Going forward, what we talked about was that as this building progresses, our share, all 19 towns would be assessed something associated with, I believe it was close to 200 million was going to be the actual building, and our assessment potentially could be 380,000 a year once that gets bonded. So it's not coming next year, but it
would work its way up.
It starts off.
Right,
yeah.
right, because they would have to finish building the building and bonding
3
it.
years, 4 years.
Yeah. So
the question is, what's the cost per student? And then that's not, that's the reason I wanted it on the agenda, because I wanted to be able to discuss it and find out about it. So we've got.
If you take our assessment of
1K and divide it by the 58 students currently enrolled, that gives you approximately, if I remember correctly, I did the math, approximately 18,000 something.
$18,023 is our assessment per student last year.
Right, but then if we add $1 million to it.
No, it'd be 300.
That'll be capital.
that's capital.
But we're still paying, it's still the. Okay.
We're not,
Well, next year, if there's not 58 students, say there's 54, assessment could go down to 825. Like, the assessment's going to change.
Right,
right.
yeah. So, they haven't built it yet, but I just am trying to get a bead on.
We're not getting assessed $1 million.
No, it'd be 300.
It'd be 300 and something, whatever.
380
So you'd
is
add
what.
that to the
$1 million plus, maybe it's $1 million too, because of the
assessment.
added to 900. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That's what I wanted to
Okay.
I got thinking after, and I was, Figure out what the amount was.
Right, and just speaking of which, Dan and I went to the budget subcommittee for PVRS last night, so there'll be more coming on that after the new year. And I included the enrollment numbers for PVRS in the select board
I wanted to
packet.
make note of the enrollment numbers.
Yes, please do.
I looked at them and I went back to the DESI site and have enrollment numbers back as far as 2017. And just a pattern, back in 2017, we had 360 kids at Pioneer in the district. And, now we're looking at 240. So we've lost, 1/3 of our students since that point. We also seem to be losing
We're
about
losing-
25 to 30% from 6th grade to 12th grade too. Which
It's,
in the long run, in our we've lost all these students, yet the budget keeps going up. I question the section size and how they're, doing their classes over there, how they're running them.
Well,
We could,
yeah.
maybe we want to question that. I question going to,
okay, let's let
Wait a minute, wait a
Bernie,
minute.
Like a group thing?
Let
I
Bernie-
can't hear you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, let Bernie
finish, and then we're going to let you come. Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's okay, it was creating a
Yeah,
little,
and I just wanted to bring up, we're losing, about 30% of our students from 6th grade to 12th in the school here.
well, it's really from 8th, if you look, 7th and 8th grade is where you drop.
Well, no, I'm talking back
especially.
as far as the
Oh,
numbers back.
2017.
And we have 430, in 2018, we had 432 kids in K through 6. And at Pioneer, we ended up with 311. We lost, you lost 25% that year. I'm just wondering too, they're talking a plan to move our elementary over there. Are we gonna lose more kids from the elementary opting out from our schools? On top of that, even less students in the full system. And we're gonna be, the costs just keep going up. I'm sure their budget hasn't gone down this year.
No, the draft that they had last night, their initial draft was approximately 10% over last year.
Yeah.
That's just a draft, as they mentioned a few times, because this is early in the cycle. But it might be interesting, similar to Sarah's point on the tech school, is just to take a look at what our assessment is and how many Northfield, granted they're an entire district, but how many Northfield kids and what we're paying per student going there. I think it's useful to look at that. They've talked about, they see the population growing and a possible uptick in 2030, but when we talk about losing students, we're talking about really not creating babies in the 3 towns that end up as pupils in the school system, right? And then the choice at 8th grade is, do I continue going on to PVRS or do I go to the tech school or another school? So over the past few years, our number at the tech school for Northfield students has gone from approximately 30 to 58, right? And when we do, the reason why I handed that out too was just to show there's, like right now, there's 7 Northfield kids in 12th grade. There's 6 Northfield kids in 11th grade. Leiden has, doesn't have anybody in the 12th grade because they have such small numbers in general. So I think it's helpful for people to look at these and be familiar with them, because as the number of students go down, the costs actually go higher, because your assessment, if your budget keeps going up, your assessment's going to go up.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the section or class size.
Yeah,
Other schools in other towns have had to reduce staffing to meet budget needs or to meet the budget expectations of the towns. We're not really reducing. We've been very supportive of our school system. But at some point, we're looking at a section size or a class size of 8 or 9 kids, to run a class. How many sections, when we used to have 18 to 20? At some point, we may have to look at how are we gonna reduce our budget. We can't just keep spending. I mean, we have a lot of things, we have to hold every department, including the school department, accountable. That's all I have to say for now. I mean,
okay.
I like to, when we get the budget, we'll go over it.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're all taking a closer look at budgets in general. Anything else on that topic, or we're going to
Yes, I wanted to, I
shoot
actually
toward-
interrupted Bernie.
Oh, that's right. Go ahead and finish, Sarah, and then we'll.
Yeah. So one of the things I think we need to take into account, just from a statistical perspective, is the declining population in Western Mass in general. Because I went to a group, I went to something about Western Mass schools and, with these questions, and found that it's widely declining. So we want to make sure that we're looking at our declining population in the context of the larger population to see if there's a difference or if it's a uniform lessening. And also, I have had something that Bernie said. I've heard zero from the all the citizens that have spoken to me. Zero support for moving that elementary school in with the big kids. Nobody likes that idea that I've spoken to. And then the other thing, the 10% increase. I know that I went to I didn't go to the most recent one because I'm away for my mom's surgery, but the insurance increment that for the school needs to pay for their insurance, similar to what our municipal increases have been, is like what, 25%? Andrea, what is the insurance increase?
Well, we don't know what it'll be for next year, but for this year, it was 38%.
Right, so we had a 10% increase in budget,
Yep.
and we want to see how much of that is reflected by the 38% increase or whatever it is in the schools. So I just think, I agree with you. You know that I really believe in being fiscally very careful, but also as a stats person, we want to make sure that we look at things, not pull something out and look at it, but look at it in the context so that we can get a strong understanding of it. So those are just the things I bring up.
So hang on to those thoughts, because as we go through this budget process,
It'll be good to use those as touch points. I'm going to ask Andrea, can you send out the email that Patricia sent? I just want to make sure it went to the whole select board from last night, and if you don't have it, I've got it. That lists all the links to all of the presentations that came up, because you'll want to that's what we were looking at last night, Sarah. And so we'll make sure that the entire select board gets that, because just Dan and I walked away with paper copies. And
I gave her the paper copies, everything I had.
Good, thank you for doing that. And then one other request, can you send out Rep. Blaze Rural Commission report? It touches on all of the issues that Sarah was mentioning and then some. And they that's been a multi-year process. They finished that report. So Rep. Blay and Senator Comerford are well on top of that topic overall. So let's make sure that gets out to the select board as well. And then we can tie that in with legislative advocacy at a later point if we need to. All right, Millbrook Trail System. We don't really need to talk about it because I did a walkthrough on it with Jacob Quinn, son of Michael Quinn. Michael and I had spoken based on the open space request, and something got lost in translation, so I actually walked the trail today with Jacob, and he understands what the concern is for open space, and he's looking at fixing that up hopefully this weekend. So we're good to go on that.
My,
I spoke to Mike Quinn earlier in the week, they hadn't been contacted, so I reached out to them to find out about it, so I'm glad that we got
Yeah.
everybody connected.
They're on my list. I just had a.
Backed up, so I did it this afternoon before the meeting. Okay, Massachusetts Department of and I'll reach out to Bob Perlman as well, who's the chair, to circle back as soon as I get my phone working again. Massachusetts Department of Transportation, otherwise known as MassDOT, Local Early Stage and Actionable Planning. There's a mouthful. LEAP program update.
I just wanted to bring this to you because it's a grant that we may be participating in, so rather than come out of the blue, basically the town requested technical assistance through this new MassDOT LEAP program. They put it out there. They received over 60 requests. They're only going to be taking 15, 14, maybe 13. So we are chosen as one of the initial group to be looked at. So one of their consultant teams is developing a draft scope and cost estimate of our project. So once they get those groups they're looking at, then they're going to have to balance how much they say it's going to cost. If the funding works out and we are selected to have our engineering projects done, this is the project that I requested was engineering design covering the Complete Streets project to reconstruct the sidewalks on Parker Ave. Complete Streets, we have funding to do work through the Complete Streets program. It doesn't cover engineering. So I'm trying to reach out and get that engineering covered if we can.
Great.
And Parker Ave is really the last true section of sidewalk in town that hasn't been touched. So in order to make it complete, through the Complete Streets program, because Highland just used a portion of that funding and it every 2 to 3 years we get replenished, I'd like to get that engineered and we could get Parker Ave sidewalks done.
All right, great, thank you.
Andrea, would you make sure that for that Highland Ave, they didn't have the traditional meetings with the citizens, and I was getting a lot of blowback and a lot of citizens coming and talking to me. So can you make sure that the engineers meet with the citizens in the area before they do that? That's usually, I think, a part of the job, and I understand it was waived in the Highland Ave one. Can we not waive it?
I'm not sure what you're speaking about. I don't think the engineers have a.
The engineers go,
Before you design it, there are questions and stuff that need to be done, and that's relatively.
well, let's take that under advisement. So as we move through the process, we'll bring it back on board. And if there's still a question about that, we can address it when we get to that point. But I'm just going to mention Complete Streets had a whole citizen committee associated with it a long time ago. Unfortunately, some of the projects in there have been in that queue with the state Complete Streets program for a long time. So Highland, I think when I first got onto the select board, that was a priority in the Complete Streets.
Well, it's up to us. It's our funding. What we put in as our priority.
Right.
But the Complete Streets
It
project.
went to the school, it went around the college instead.
No, that was part of it too.
It was because we weren't doing the road, we did one section of sidewalk, then we did the other, but there's no part
It was in
of the Complete
phases.
Streets program that requires an engineering meeting at the close. We have a separate contract with the engineer, we're actually paying for it out of Chapter 90 money, because Complete Streets doesn't cover engineering. So that's a whole different funding source for the engineer, and that project is complete. Except for, we have a little money we aren't closing it exactly, because it has to grow, the grass has to grow, they have to guarantee that. Other than that, that project is done.
I think we're talking about when it gets designed and we have something to talk about, then let's bring it back, and if there's any concerns, we can see
I
then.
thought you was talking about
Yeah.
Highland Ave.
Yeah, that too.
No.
I think,
But we missed the vote on Highland Ave, I'm talking about the next one.
Well, never mind. Let's move on. The citizens.
concerns, we'll move on from there. Topics not reasonably anticipated, I don't have any. We do have one reappointment, and I'll need a motion to reappoint Courtney Danielson to EMS as a per diem EMT, term expiring December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. Under announcements, just want to put this on here to basically remind myself as well. 2026 Transfer station stickers are available in the town clerk's office if you haven't, and I know they'll all remind us when we go to the transfer station.
They're still $20, so,
Is that true?
yep.
Great.
How about dog tags?
Dog tags are available also, where they can
You gotta
start
fill
doing
out
it,
the
but they don't
form.
have to do those, they have to have them done by April 1st.
Yeah, end of March.
Yep.
And you need to have up-to-date rabies.
Yes. Yep. Okay, and then under recognition for service, the town and the staff that did it won an award.
Yeah, I wanted to recognize and thank really all the town departments and committees because they participated in our new, this is our second year, but our first year was really a model year. It was a much more labor-intensive annual report than our previous submissions, those little
one?
books. Now it contains the whole goals and objectives sections. So that's our new book. It's our second year doing it. We really had the consultant the first year, and the reason I kind of waited till the second year to think about this is because now it's really on us. I really need to thank Sandra because she has to do a ton more work in this book than we used to do with just putting together the little send us a report. We print it in. Now it's a whole section. We tie the budgets into it, payrolls into it. And I hope the residents are finding the document more useful. I know that Dee has it like glued to her.
I use it as my laptop holder.
Because we've expanded it to include all of that other material that's, to give people the budgets all year long.
Yeah, it has the education information in here
Yep.
too, speaking of early topics.
Right, and so I submitted it to the Mass Municipal Association because they have an annual town report contest for different categories. And in the towns under 5,000, we won first place.
Yay!
Very good.
For our town.
Congratulations.
And I'll get the award when I go to the conference in January.
Great.
Very good.
And we still have this
And we'll
year.
have
Still several.
There's still a few available in town hall.
And we're working on the new ones now, hence the sections that you are working on.
Yeah, so we're already ahead of the game on
We
our
will be,
section.
after January, after the new year,
Good
we'll be
deal.
sending to all the towns to update their goals and
All
objectives.
righty. Motion to adjourn.
Wait, before
What?
we put on the upcoming agenda, an update on the School Street Bridge?
Can you send me an email?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second, the motion to adjourn?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Sarah. Hope all's well down there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
You too. Be safe, guys.
See ya.